And we are about to jump into the finals. This is going to be the final match of NA number 7 and the final match of the day. So it's going to be between Silent Storm and Pesty.
Yep.
Chucky, it's been a pretty fun day. We've had some pretty interesting games, to say the least. Some close battles, some not so close battles, some really great plays, some not so great plays, highs, lows, roller coaster ride of emotions and feelings, and Hearthstone.
And now it's all down to this. We have one matchup left. One of these players will be qualifying for the feature tournament. Maybe earning themselves a way to PAX to qualify for a big tournament there. Like you said, it's the last way from tournaments to get BlizzCon regional championship points.
Yes. Also, a little bit of money on the line as well. $125 to first place, $75 to second.
Yeah, and the real money starts coming in once you move up. I mean, feature tournament, $3,000 prize pool. PAX, I believe the total prize pool for the entire circuit is over 60,000. So
Yep.
starts out a little small, and it gets bigger and bigger as you work your way up.
Yeah, the more money you win, the more chances you have to win even more. So we're going to start it off with Pesty's Hunter versus Silent Storm's Handlock. A little bit of a tough matchup. Pesty does run the more aggressive Hunter, but does have some hybrid elements with Lotheb and high mains.
Yeah, and Silent Storm already starting this game off in a way a lot of players wouldn't. Coined out a tap, which is something very interesting a lot of players don't do. And then on 2 mana, he decided to coil over Hero Power, which gives up, an effective card you lose, but it saves you health in the long run. And it is kind of like the mark of a seasoned Handlock player, knowing how much health you can really give up. And sometimes you just can't afford to be greedy and take that card. And it didn't actually cost him anything in the long run. The next turn he tapped anyway. He's going to be at a full hand size going into this turn. But regardless, he's in a really rough spot. Pesty doesn't really have like an owl to push through or anything, but Pesty's put him at a really nice life total of 14, which means Moltons aren't a huge deal.
He's dead.
And
He's dead.
is he just dead? 6,
Dead.
9, 12, 14,
Whoa.
and he's dead, and Pesty misses lethal. Well, we've, he's going to throw out that didn't quite hit the mark, drop his head in shame, and bring out the bells.
Well, Chucky.
This has been a recurring theme with Hunter, specifically. As you said, Hunter players. They're so obsessed with their good curve that they
I'll
don't
have
even
you
spot
know,
it.
I did not play Hunter in my lists.
Oh, okay, so you're an honorable player, TJ.
When I finished top 8 and lost to Pesty.
Well, I think he's still going to take this one.
Yeah, I mean,
There's literally nothing there for Silent
It
Storm.
wasn't exactly lethal, and a lot of times you're not expecting to take lethal that quickly into the game.
Oh, I am. Turn 5 lethal? Yep. I'm pretty sure the song literally says it. Is it 5 or 7? I forget. I think it's 5. Like the song, it tells you turn 5 lethal. Yep. And so now he's going to act like he top decked it to save his dignity.
Well, to save his dignity to Silent Storm alone.
Yeah.
Like everybody else can see it.
Who later will realize anyway. But yeah, I mean, it is a terrible matchup for Silent Storm. I think he played it out in a way where maybe he maximized his odds of doing well, but the hand was not there. And Pesty, up until that one turn, played it very well, developing the bow, not hero powering Silent Storm lower, so that on turn 4, Silent Storm couldn't taunt.
Yeah. Yep, indeed. And so Pesty takes a quick 1-0 lead now. Silent Storm's lineup is a bit unorthodox. He does have mid-range Paladin, which is a deck that we don't see very often at all in Conquest, especially open Conquest format. But of course, once again, we got to remind you guys that these are the decks that they did use to get all the way through to the top 4 of the Open. So over 200 players, and they are proven. So Pesty is going to throw out Druid, and Silent Storm's going to throw out the Handlock once again.
Yep. So it's going to be another pretty tough matchup. I mean, he hit the worst of the three. He would love to queue Handlock into Patron Warrior, but ends up getting the Druid.
And he's got a
And
really good hand against Handlock.
this is the, yeah, really nice hand against Handlock with both of the answers. He's got Shredders for pressure. He's got card draw to pick it up in the late game, and it's going to be tough for Silent Storm. We've seen this matchup a lot today. They've been very, very close games, so I would expect this to go pretty long. If Silent Storm can pick up the right cards to stabilize, he does have 2 Taunters right now. Regardless of what he picks, he's going to pick the one that plays around BGH, but it does not play around Keeper. The nice thing being, even though Pesty gets the Keeper, he doesn't have the mana to Hero Power, so his Keeper or his Shredder will die. Chooses to throw in the Shredder. And this dies to Hellfire Coil if that's what Silent Storm chooses to go with.
Yeah, he could Hellfire Coil. Then next turn he could fit in a tap with his Mountain.
Yeah, he already can fit in a tap if he wants to. But it's another play that's weak to BGH. But I guess then you get BGH, then you do the Hellfires. So I like this a little better now that I think about it. You bait out the BGH, you Hellfire off an even bigger board. Get yourself lower into that Molten range, maybe a little before the Druid wants you to really be there. And obviously, if Pesty didn't have BGH, you're even happier. But it is the case that it's there.
Yeah, these players can see each other. And when Pesty drew the BGH, he did the not bad face.
Oh.
So maybe
the not
read...
bad face. Okay.
Yeah, I can't demonstrate it right now since I'm not on...
No, I think
broadcast.
Everyone knows the face you're talking about. Like,
okay.
Not bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It isn't bad for Pesty. He's in a pretty solid situation here. I feel like Silent Storm's a little lower than he'd want him to be, going only into turn 7. He didn't get any of the mana ramp this game, which is the one thing that you could complain about, I guess, from his point of view.
Yeah. So Silent Storm has to think here, what's the best option? And it looks like he's going to go ahead and Lothep. And so next turn, he'll be able to fit in a tap and be able to taunt up multiple things.
Yep.
As opposed to just throwing out Molten and then taunting.
Yeah, he will definitely have quite a few options going forward. He still has 2 Taunters, still has 2 Sludge Belchers, and does have that Molten, which again, probably going to be dropped when Pesty doesn't really want it to be. It is a little early. Pesty is not on that combo turn yet. Only has 1 of the pieces as well. So, Mountain off the top. Silent Storm's already seen 1 BGH, and usually right now, it's only 1 BGH in the list, so he knows it's pretty safe. And I guess he's just going to taunt up everything, and probably just pass. He gets a very nice Shadow Flame set up for the next turn, so I like this from Silent Storm.
Yeah, but what is he going to Shadow Flame?
He could do the Molten. He could do whatever's left over on his board. Really just kind of depends on what Pesty does. So, I guess this way you probably do the Molten. Oh, he's going to Lothep, so that's going to lock him out. Good spot by Pesty there. Lothep going into the combo turn is going to make Silent Storm very wary of how he plays out this turn.
Yeah, so he's going to have to build another wall here, and...
Yeah, he's going to kill off the War. He's going to kill off the Azure Drake. That way he's not dead to combo.
Yeah. He's still got a lot of tools left. He's still got Sludge Belcher left. He's still got 1 more Sun Fury Protector left in his hand. So,
yeah, Sludge Belcher is one of those cards that plays around combo super well because it's such an awkward health amount for the trees and the hero power to get through that they end up usually having to throw in more than 7 damage, even though it's only a 7 health taunt.
Yep, definitely a good point.
But, again, it is kind of the case that the Warlock is mostly playing catch-up. It's not like he's really getting ahead. And Swipe's going to clear off that Giant. That's both mountains down. And again, always threatening lethal with that combo.
That's a pretty decent Shadow Flame target.
Yeah, you can trade in the slime, shadow flame that, and then you won't really have anything to taunt up. You could taunt up your Drake, but maybe you have to disrespect combo. That's such a hard read to make, though. Like, oh yeah, I'm at exactly 14. No big deal. I'll just not taunt. You're go.
He could be really bold and tap, and then not respect combo.
Yeah,
If he's not respecting combo,
if you're
then he's
not
gonna
gonna
tap.
respect combo, you're gonna tap and molten, right? Like,
And there he goes.
I think that's the play. And what it just like I'm not sure this is even like a read. It's just like Silent Storm's thinking this is how I win the game.
Yep.
Not playing around combo every turn. That doesn't work out long term. And he will get rewarded for that. So really impressive play. I think kind of just goes to him playing a lot of handlock, knowing that if you play around combo every turn, very rarely is that like winnable games.
Yeah. Whereas now, I mean, he could fight back on board. He's got huge initiative. He knows BGH is out of the way. He's seen one keeper. He might even be able to get off a safe Draxus.
Yeah, he gets to taunt up so much stuff now. He's got the Belcher. He can taunt up a Watcher and a Giant or something. Dark Bomb, like, all it takes is one turn of taking a smart risk to put yourself ahead in the game. Whereas if he had played around combo, he wouldn't have a Giant down. He would just have like a weaker Twilight Drake that would be taunted. And his Sun Fury would be gone. So that Molten would never be able to be taunted. So it was a risk, but it was a very smart risk. And now Pesty is like not on the defensive necessarily, but he's playing very weak plays. That's not a play you want to do in his position. It's just setting up stuff to die. You know it's dead to board.
Setting up stuff to die.
And this isn't the safest Jiraxis turn, but potentially you could.
I think you...
I don't think you have to, though. I don't think you will Jiraxis.
What would be the best if a 1 health creature came out of a Powder Treader, he could Mortal Coil it, then Jiraxis be at 15 health and half all of his taunt givers.
Yeah, I suppose I'd check for that first. Because, yeah, I don't think... Maybe he just won't kill the Shredder if this is the case. If he is going to kill the Shredder, I would have liked him to, like you said, just check what comes out first. And if it's a 1 health, then Jiraxising might be worth it. But I feel like this play overall is just better. You just hit face, you put up so much points of taunt, and you're starting the clock on Pesty.
Well, Dr. Boom, he really thought about playing that last turn, but then realized that he needed multiple creatures to fight back for the board because of how well the Boom bots or the Mountain Giant would have traded in.
So this is 24 damage. He's 1 off with the Silence on the Watcher and the Dark Bomb base. That's 24.
He can maybe start off with a coil.
Yeah, this could kill off something. It didn't, so... Unless it... No. Didn't kill off anything.
That's a really good bomb. Didn't hit a taunt. Didn't hit the Molten.
Didn't hit face. So I would think he's just going to play a little bit of cleanup. Could, like, Owl, Dark Bomb, the Shredder. Maybe you don't need a Dark Bomb it. Maybe you just Emperor instead.
Yeah, because if you Owl it, then you can't fit both in.
Okay,
and
so...
You don't really want to...
Going on the defensive a little bit, but yeah, this will let him get a safe Jiraxis off like we talked about. And Ooh. Good bomb, though.
Feisty.
That bomb bit back.
Well, he picks up combo.
Yeah, definitely too late for that.
He can draw, but, I mean, he is just in not the best spot.
Once Jiraxis comes out. and it's just completely clean. You get the Infernal as well. How much damage will he have? 8, 10, 14, 20 max, so even if everything was left, he wouldn't have lethal. Alright. Second Dark Bomb, unfortunately, you can't play all of that, or else it would be exact lethal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be exactly 21. Obviously does not have the mana, so we're just going to see Jiraxis. And
Probably
wouldn't be
Dark Bomb.
surprised to see him just trade. And you can Dark Bomb, but then you don't get a 6/6. I'd rather just see him trade in the Emperor. The Emperor reduction's not relevant right now, so you just trade it in, I think. Save all your taunt health, make a 6/6. Hit face for 3, keep both Dark Bombs. You're almost guaranteed lethal next turn.
Yeah. All right. Well, Pesty needs to find a miracle.
Yeah. If he wasn't so low, Harrison would be really nice, but he has to kill off literally everything.
Yeah, he's dead. Can a taunt and a swipe save him?
Yeah, probably.
All right, so if he swipes the Twilight Drake,
Swipe the Twilight Drake. You have to kill off the slime. No, you don't have to kill off the slime, but
and then Druid of the Claw.
that's not setting you up to win necessarily. It's just delaying the inevitable.
Well, you're taking off the taunts.
Taking off 2 of them, not the
Not the Watcher. You can take out the Watcher.
Yeah, he can take out the Watcher, I suppose, and then you draw you draw Innervate.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay, you draw Innervate to Innervate out the hero power. That's still not lethal because of how the things line up. You can't put 1 damage exactly into the slime and 14 to face.
Yeah.
So Ragnaros.
Ragnaros, you
That's
either
a
win or you kill his
50-50.
shade.
He's 1 off guaranteed lethal, but yeah, just go for the Rag. It's either game over or game over.
Yep. And I think that's going to be game over.
It is. You're
All right.
right. Good call.
Well, Silent Storm is going to tie it up 1-1. Looked a little bit shaky at first, but he managed to pull it together. Despite Pesty having a decent hand against Handlock earlier, he just drew into combo a little bit too late. Silent Storm took those calculated risks, and they definitely paid off.
Yep. I think that matchup really just comes down to when you take the risk, and it's usually just 1 risk.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you take the correct risk, you should be home free the rest of the game once they don't have it. Or if they have it, you lose, and we won't talk about those games. But it was a good risk from Silent Storm. He wouldn't have been in nearly as dominating a position had he taken a completely safe route.
All right, so now both players have Druid remaining, and Silent Storm has Paladin, and Pesty has Warrior. Silent Storm's going to go over to the Druid, and Pesty's going to switch it up and throw out the Warrior instead.
Yep. So, pretty key matchup here. I think for Pesty, the more important win is his Druid. And for Silent Storm, the more important win is his Paladin. So, this isn't necessarily the highest of stakes. I mean, either player could still win from down 2-1 in this position. If you think about Druid and Paladin are both okay against Druid. Obviously, you're in a worse spot because you have to win twice. Mm-hmm. Your opponent just has to win once, one of them being the mirror match. But from Pesty's point of view, Warrior and Druid could both win against Paladin. So, this won't really decide everything, but obviously it's nice to take the 2-1 lead.
Yeah. And he has a decent hand early on. He's going to get both shades going, but he has to leave this Acolyte of Pain alone.
Well, yeah.
I think he does.
Yeah, he definitely wants to leave alone with the way he played this. And now he's going to get a pretty nice swipe off next turn, I would imagine. Pesty could interrupt that maybe by playing a second Acolyte, but it looks like he's just going to play the Corsair instead.
Is that... Yeah, I suppose that's pretty good. You could start applying a little bit of pressure. Not that pressure matters too much, but it does matter some.
Yeah, it's nice because it makes it so when you develop a patron board later, it's threatening lethal rather than being something you can take 2 turns to deal with.
Yeah. So this is a tough decision. He draws in the keeper, which is good to deny it.
Yeah, I would probably deny the draw.
But then he doesn't really develop anything that threatens the board. He doesn't really want to use an Innervate here because next turn he's got a nice Innervate Ancient of Lore lined up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is rough. In fact, he's just going to Wrath on the 2-1, which I find interesting. I probably would have Wrathed on the 3-3, but it did draw him into a 5-drop, so that works out nicely.
Yeah.
And he's going to double Unstealth.
Wow.
So a very aggressive line from Silent Storm here, going to make Pesty have to respond, and Pesty has no cards to respond. So it's going to start up a very vicious clock here.
He can over-equip the Fire War Axe with the Despite and go for the Patrons next turn.
Yeah, but you can't clear off all 3. So, and you're only making 2 Patrons as it stands right now. So Patrons isn't really a win condition right yet. So just going to try and cycle more to get into that win condition. He's actually going to kill off the weaker of the Shades because the other one has less health, maybe looking to kill that off with Whirlwind effects.
Ooh, look at this curve.
Look at that curve.
Well, the Shrew of the Claw could be problematic. He just charge it? Okay.
Yeah.
Nope. Spectator is a little bit weird.
He actually put 5 damage into the Acolyte and put it in range of a Whirlwind.
Definitely respecting the card draw, realizing that one of the ways that you lose this matchup is just by...
Yeah, and he's not going to get punished because Pesty, again, has nothing going for him. He has no way to deal that 1 incidental damage. And I mean, I feel like maybe he's still in it. He's just going to have to Emperor, but like 1 more turn of not being able to deal with this stuff is probably just going to spell his end.
Yeah, now Silent Storm's just going to be able to play his Emperor Thorson, and it's going to go unanswered.
Yeah, you know your opponent hasn't had an answer to anything. Silent Storm's even playing this like super safe. He's just like not hitting face as much as he could, just respecting everything, and he knows Pesty's hand is bad, but he's thinking, okay, like, don't get cocky, you don't need 6 damage, you can just stall this out a bit, and you'll win.
Yeah. Oh, he just throws out the Frothing Berserker.
Like, oh god, he's taking so much damage.
He's at 19, he has 11 damage on board. What, Savage Roar? Is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Exacties.
Silent Storm smiles a little bit. Doing the math real quick. It's going to be a lot of frothing animation. But hey, doesn't matter when they're dead.
Yeah. He had a couple outs there as well, so...
yeah, Savage Roar. And I mean, he was in a very dominant position anyway. I guess Pesty probably had some plan. It was just, it's one of those games where your best plan might be a 1 to 5% plan, you know? Obviously not a good spot for Pesty to be in.
Obviously.
As he will fall down 2-1, and Silent Storm, it's all on this Paladin deck now, which
Can he do it?
He's had a lot of success with, and it looks like a decent enough hand here. I wouldn't be surprised to just see him 3 keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's scary for Pesty.
Yeah. Once you see a 3 keep, you kind of... Once that Harrison Jones isn't played for a while, you pretty much know it's a Harrison Jones.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that card he kept.
Yeah.
It's turn 5. It's still in his hand.
Yeah. Well, the Patron matchup lines up quite nicely against Paladin, but we did see Silent Storm take a match against Hot Form in this exact matchup.
And the MVP of that match, or rather 2 of the best cards, were the cards we see in his hand right now. Blessing of Kings and Defender of Argus. They let you push more damage, they put up a more resilient board, and they make you play more like aggro Paladin. You know, it's an aggro Paladin with some of the cards in your decks being just absolute blanks, like that Lay on Hands. That's kind of how this matchup's going to play out, is he's playing like a weaker aggro Paladin. So if you think about it like that, you can't feel too great about his chances, but it works out. You know, when you draw kings, when you draw Argus, it lets you pressure that much more. Obviously, you'd love to have muster for battle here, but just gonna have to hero power. Just kind of going back to the fact that he's playing with blanks in his deck.
Yeah.
And he drew one of them.
Yep.
But still, this is a great defender of Argus. He's got the owl now for Acolyte. Oh, he could owl it instead.
Ooh.
It's such a nice defender of Argus, though.
Yeah, it's a really clean defender of Argus as well. Putting your shielded minibot up to like a 3/3 with taunt with Divine Shield.
Yeah, that's hard to get through.
All of a sudden, it becomes a Silver Moon Guardian with a Rusty Horn.
Wow. Great comparison.
Yeah.
I run into those all the time in my arena runs.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like he's not going to find a target for that owl later. There are more acolytes, there's more loot hoarders, and
oh man,
I mean, it's getting to that point where yeah, you can kill off frothing using that divine shield, using the 1/1. You start going face, you've got the kings to back it up, you've got Harrison to back it up. Like,
Pesty does have a 5 health heal as like an investment, but I mean, what is
he actually has no way to proc it.
Oh man, the owl too. Oh man,
that's it. That's game. He has 17.
Wow.
Through taunt. That's it.
Is he gonna spot it?
Oh yeah, he'll spot it.
He spots it.
Yeah, he saw it. And Silent Storm is going to lock up his ticket to the Premier Tournament.
Wow, what? 2 games in a row with exactly the... Oh, man.
Well met.
Silent Storm takes it in the end. A 3-1 victory over Pesty. And we will see him in the future tournament this weekend. He goes away with $125, 10 World Championship points, which Silent Storm is... He's up there.
Oh, yeah. No, he's not in first place anymore. Zalay overtook him, but very up there. And definitely, I wouldn't even say he's competing. I feel like he's locked up that top 8 spots. So this is a guy, he's going to be in the Premier Tournament, so obviously look out for him there. But you'll see him in regionals almost for sure with some buys. Might see him at PAX if he can do well in that Premier Tournament. So Silent Storm definitely a contender for a lot of the big titles later this year.
Yeah, Pesty, on the other hand, he'll go with $75, 5 World Championship points, and 9 GEICO points. So he will be one of the front runners for qualifying for the feature tournament this weekend. For GEICO points, he'll have to win quite a bit there. He'll have to place highly if he wants to be a front runner to actually go to PAX at the end of the month. But definitely well on his way, and he played pretty well. I mean, those last 2 games, Silent Storm...
Yeah.
Everything lined up for him. Everything lined up for him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there weren't many turns, but he played everything perfectly. And that, like I said, the Paladin deck, basically in that matchup, you just have to function like your aggro Paladin. And I feel like his inclusion of Blessing of Kings in his list and some of the more aggressive cards in there, he was playing double Defender of Argus. It felt like a correct meta read to like kind of know that, okay, I want to run a defensive Paladin, but I'm going to splash into some offense when I need it, and worked out beautifully for him in both of his matchups.
Yeah, definitely. So once again, guys, reminder, the final EU and NA qualifiers are both tomorrow, August 12th. If you want your chance to compete in one of these Summer Circuit qualifiers, the feature tournament, or if you want your chance to compete at PAX for the ONOG Summer Circuit finals, then tomorrow is your last chance to do so. You can head over to liquidheart.com. Under upcoming events on the right, tomorrow you can register. I believe you register the day of, so tomorrow, ONOG, NA, and EU qualifier number 8. So keep in mind that's your last chance to do so. Also, make sure you guys head over to geico.onog.gg. You can enter in to win an official TSM PC. You can also get a GEICO quote to save money on your car insurance. It's also a great way to show GEICO that you support what they're doing in the esports scene. And again, we want to give a huge shout out to GEICO, to One Nation of Gamers, Team Liquid, and TSM, who are all partners with this event. But I think that's going to do it for us. Chucky, do you have any final words, any shout outs that you'd like to give before we close it out?
Not really. I mean, thanks to everybody for watching and checking out the Summer Circuit. Again, like TJ said, really great event that's sponsored by One Nation of Gamers, GEICO, Liquid, and TSM. Really awesome of them to throw on. This is 16 open tournaments, so it's one of the things the community really has been asking for a lot, and they delivered 16-fold. So I'm really excited to see the next Premier tournament. I think I'm going to play in one of the opens tomorrow. It's going to be my first time. Hopefully I can make it to the broadcast on Thursday. We'll see about that. But thanks, TJ, for casting with me. Hope it works out well for you tomorrow too. Play in if you do.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, we don't get matched up in one of the earlier rounds. But
Oh, I'm hoping we do. Free
oh
win, man.
no, he knows how to counter my lineup. He's just gonna smork me. All
Well,
right. Once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. For myself, from Chucky, from everybody with GEICO, One Nation of Gamers, Team Liquid, and TSM. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.